It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon when Officer Mark Riley made his usual patrol through Pineview Park. Families picnicked, kids laughed near the swings, everything seemed normal. But just as he rounded the corner by the dense woods, his eyes caught something that made his breath hitch. A little girl, barefoot and covered in dirt, standing perfectly still, staring into the trees. What unfolded next would change his life and the community forever. Mark Riley had been a police officer in the small town of Brooksville for 15 years. He knew every face, every corner of the town. Pineview Park was his regular beat, a place where people felt safe. That's why the sight of the little girl struck him so hard. She looked around 6 years old, wearing a torn pink dress, her blonde hair matted with dirt. No one nearby seemed to know her. Mark approached slowly, crouching down to meet her eye level. "Hey there, sweetheart. Are you okay? Where's your mommy or daddy?" She didn't answer. Her eyes wide, glassy, stayed locked on the woods. Mark's gut twisted. Something was wrong. Mark radioed for backup but stayed with the girl, trying to get her to speak. Finally, in a whisper so faint he almost missed it, she said, "They're still there." "Who's still there?" Mark asked, heart pounding. She pointed shakily toward the trees. Mark's instincts kicked in. He drew his flashlight and slowly ventured into the woods, leaving an officer to care for the girl when backup arrived. The forest was thick and eerily silent. About 200 yards in, Mark spotted something, a blue tarp, partially covered with branches. As he stepped closer, the horror revealed itself. 2 children, unconscious but breathing, lying side by side under the tarp. A man, disheveled, wild-eyed, emerged from behind a tree holding a knife. Mark's training took over. He drew his weapon and commanded the man to drop the knife. The standoff lasted seconds but felt like an eternity before the man finally surrendered. The suspect, later identified as Daniel Hurst, was a drifter with a long record of petty crimes and suspected abductions in nearby states. The 3 children, Ella, Mia, and Jaken, had been reported missing 2 days earlier from a town 50 miles away. As the investigation unfolded, a chilling picture emerged. Hurst had been watching families at parks, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. But the bravery of Ella, the little girl Mark first spotted, changed everything. After being taken, she had found a moment to escape, running barefoot through the woods until she reached Pineview Park. The town was shaken but grateful. News outlets picked up the story, hailing Mark and Ella as heroes. Daniel Hurst was sentenced to life in prison without parole. The children, after days in the hospital, were reunited with their families, and Ella's courage became a symbol of hope and strength. The town of Brooksville held a candlelight vigil in Pineview Park, turning the once terrifying scene into a place of healing. Officer Mark Riley was awarded the Medal of Valor, though he always credited Ella for her incredible bravery. This haunting case reminds us that even in the darkest moments, the courage of one small voice and the vigilance of those sworn to protect can change the course of many lives. In Pineview Park, where laughter now echoes again, a quiet memorial stone sits beneath the old oak tree, engraved with the simple words, "To the brave who never gave up."